Hey folks, Sean Mize here, and I tell you on today's video, I want to talk about something that I think is usually left out of the entrepreneur's journey story. Especially if you're kind of on the online arena. And maybe we should separate the online from the offline. You see, if you're an offline entrepreneur, you're getting feedback on a daily basis, and not only are you getting feedback on a daily basis, but if you're watching someone and you're learning from someone, let's just say we'll use the old tried and true coffee shop. Let's say that you decide you're going to learn from somebody who runs a coffee shop. You can go work for them for 60 days and you see day in and day out the marketing that they do. You see the coffee that they sell. You see how they hire and they fire and all of those different things. You see that, and it happens on a day-to-day basis. Online, you tend to only see, and get this, you tend to only see the successes. You don't see the failures. So when a so-called guru or a mentor or a coach or somebody that's been successful has a couple of bad months, they're not usually writing a book about the 2 worst months of my business, or they're not doing a video that says, wow, this has really been a horrible day, so let me tell you all about it, because it tends to push people away, and it tends to create a situation where you're not creating a positive effect. You see, a positive effect is what sells things. Wow, I've had such an incredible day, and I want to show you about it, and I want to teach you how you can have an incredible day. You can't really do that with a bad day. Oh, I want to teach you how to have a bad day. What happens is when you're studying online, when you're doing an internet type of thing, when you're following an internet guru, you're following an internet mentor, then what happens is you only see the positive things. And so, what happens is when you go to build your business and you get stuck on something, you feel like you're the only one. You're not a part of a community of other people. And even if you are, you're part of a community, you're part of a group online, you once again, even the people that are participating aren't whining in every day, oh, I've had just a horrible day, and this is what's happening. What you're hearing is people posting their successes. So when you have a bad day, you're like, wow, I'm the only one. And the truth of the matter is, it's the same way in my business. I highlight the good things that happen. And if something's rough, if I had a rough day, or I've had a rough 2 weeks, or I've had a rough launch, or I wrote a sales letter and it didn't work, or whatever the case is, I just power through. I don't talk about it. I go in hibernation for a couple of days. I fix it. I come back, and you only see the success. And what I've decided to do here, because I think that it's so important that you get that even those of us that appear to be successful on the outside, and we are successful on the outside. We're successful on the inside. It's hard to have success on the outside if you don't have success on the inside. We still have bad days. We still have bad weeks. And it's not even so much that it's bad, but we have struggles. When I'm building something that's never been built before, I run into challenges. And I think that sometimes there's this piece of you as a mentor, a guru, or a coach that says, I don't want to share, that there's been difficulty, because what tends to happen when you share that there's difficulty, all of a sudden people go, oh wow, my mentor I thought was as strong as anything isn't that strong anymore. The truth of the matter is, every mentor, every coach, every guru out there has struggles, and most of them have them on a weekly or a monthly basis. You just don't see them. And so for many of you know that I'm building out a new service that I believe is going to change the face of internet marketing. And it's something that I've been studying and researching. And in fact, the genesis of it is probably 2 or 3 years old. The hard work, or the zoning in on exactly what that's going to look like, maybe a year and a half. And now the last couple of months is that final implementation. And even when you're doing something that has, this is what you blueprinted out, you get to something, you go, wow, this was blueprinted to be one day, it takes a week to do it. And that something else is blueprinted for an hour and it takes 2 days to do it. A lot of times you hit a stumbling block and you have to call for help and get help from somebody that knows more about a particular tweaking than you do. And obviously there's some back and forth and there's some time. And so that type of thing can be frustrating. And what I want to share with you is that whatever it is that you're building, if you're stuck on something, look, you're not the only one. You're not the only one that gets stuck. I know you don't hear that a lot. I know that's not a popular message, but I want to tell you, you're not the only one that gets stuck. I want to see you get unstuck personally. And I want, and I'm going to be talking about this on my coaching call that I do in a few minutes. But my theme with the coaching call really is this idea that when you're down, you got to get back up. I want to talk about one more thing that really hurts, really hurts entrepreneurs, and that is when they get down, they quit on whatever it is, and they start something new next week or next month. And so at the end of the year, you've done lots of work, but it's been on 12 different new things. The people that become successful, when they get down, they may take a day or two off, or they may take an hour or two off, but they come back to the same thing until they figure it out, or until they determine, and there's this balance, and that's the problem. I had a client one time that I said, you just keep coming back to it, and like 36 months, he's still trying to do something that's impossible. So I think there has to be this wisdom. But if you're jumping onto a new project every month, you're either really choosing bad projects or you're giving up too early. If you believe in your heart of hearts that your idea can work, and you're humble enough to hire a few mentors, even if it's only for 20 minutes, hire a mentor and say, here's my idea, can this work? And if somebody tells you it won't work, you don't write the first person off. A lot of times folks will get their feelings hurt because one person says, look, this won't work, and they just don't know what they're talking about. If you talk to 7 different people and they all give you some really logical reasons why it won't work, there's 2 ways to do it. One is to say, you know what, I disagree, and I'm going to use this challenge to make it happen. Or say, maybe the truth of the matter is the market really isn't ready for this. There's no answer. And that's what folks are so much looking for. They're looking for the perfect answer that says, I know this will work. You never know that it'll work. All the big innovations all over the country, all the big innovations that have occurred the last 50 years, nobody knew that it was going to work before they did it. In fact, most innovations fail. And so if you failed at something, well, you're normal. Most innovations fail. I want to close this simply by saying, if you're struggling, others are struggling too. The difference is that those who become successful fight through the struggle instead of starting something new. They fight through the struggle. You have a dream and you just keep coming back to it, but you get distracted from it. I don't want to say stick with it, because if it's a bad dream, hire a mentor, even if it's only for 20 minutes. A lot of times we have this idea you get to spend thousands of dollars and commit to 6 hours of mentorship. You don't. Send an email to your top favorite 5 mentors. Say, hey, how much would you charge me for 20 minutes? We'll cut it off at 19 and a half minutes. I promise I won't go over. What'll you charge me? And the truth of the matter is, if you could talk with 5 mentors for 20 minutes, give them the bones of what you're doing and ask for their advice, and write it all down, put it together, it could almost be a case study. All right, folks, I'm going to go ahead and close out with that. I'm excited about what I shared with you.